Hello boyos, Rich Boy J here back here with another video, and today I am here to finally talk about the newly revealed LEGO Star Wars Tantive IV set. It is going to debut on May the 4th this year in 2019. It is set number 75244 and it has 1,768 pieces. This set was revealed earlier today at Star Wars Celebration and we finally have official images of it, so let's talk about it. First, it's worth noting the minifigures in this set. It comes with 6 of them. We get the standard R2 and C-3PO. We get the Rebel Fleet Trooper, same one that we got in the TIE Fighter Jr. set earlier this year. And then there are 3 unique figures to the set. First one I want to talk about is the Leia. The Leia is mostly the same from the Death Star Escape set earlier this year, except she finally has that new molded dress piece, and I think that actually works really well for her. I honestly expected them to include that in that Death Star Escape piece, but better late than never. I'm glad they included it. It looks like they're also including a pair of white pants for her to wear, I guess if you want to have her sitting down in the office in the interior space, so that's kind of interesting that they decided to include that as well. You also have a brand new Captain Antilles minifigure. So this is the minifigure that appeared in the last version of the Tantive IV set, but he has a new face, new torso, all that good stuff. I'm happy to see that, especially since the existing version of this minifigure is such an expensive figure to get. It'll be nice to finally have one in my collection. And then finally, the figure that all of us are going to be talking about, it is the Bail Organa minifigure. This has been long overdue. It's honestly quite surprising that we haven't gotten a Bail Organa figure until this moment, but I'm happy about it. It's nice to finally have a Bail Organa minifigure to include in our collections. I'm honestly kind of surprised that the first version of this figure that we get is from Rogue One, one of the spin-off films. If you asked me like 10 years ago or so, what's the first Bail Organa figure we see, I definitely would have told you there was one from episode 3. I think the fact that this figure is out now definitely implies that the episode 3 version is on the way pretty soon. I personally would have preferred to have gotten the episode 3 version of it, but I can understand why in this context they would throw in his Rogue One version. Now, put the minifigures aside and talking about the actual set here, we can see that this set actually looks pretty nicely detailed. I think for a set that isn't exactly a UCS set, you can look at the box and actually doesn't say UCS anywhere or even Master Builder Series anywhere. The box looks kind of in line with the UCS sets that we've gotten recently, just the style of the front of the box, but it still has the like brick pattern printing from the normal sets, but it's in black now. I'm really not entirely sure what all of that means, but clearly LEGO is telling you this is a premium set, maybe not premium enough for us to call UCS, but it is still a big LEGO Star Wars set. So I don't know, I would like a little bit more consistency with this type of thing. I totally would not have minded if they call it this set a UCS set, but it's becoming increasingly apparent that LEGO is very sensitive with what they like to call a UCS set nowadays. So I mean, I don't know, who knows. But outside of the box, looking at the actual build, like I said, there are tons of reebling and details on this, so which I like. I mean, some people are probably going to complain about this and say, oh, it's a playset, but I think that like if you never took a look at the inside of this thing, it's a nice looking display piece just from the details on it alone. We can also see towards the front that they're utilizing that new cone piece. It's the larger cone from the UCS Millennium Falcon. Looks like it is in a white color, then it has a sticker that goes over it to simulate the cockpit. I think in an ideal world, the white would have been printed on it and allowing us to have an actual like window that you can see through into the cockpit with, but given the scale of the ship, I probably can understand why they would want to hide the minifigure sitting in that cockpit, as they would look much larger than they should be from the outside of the ship. The biggest negative to me about this set has to be the use of the interior space. One of the things I said when talking about this set when it was rumored is that they have to include the hallway scene where Vader comes onto the Tantive IV. I felt if they didn't do anything, that scene had to be included, and they decided to basically go the same route as they did with the last playset of this and just give us a Leia office. And I don't know, that's just really disappointing to me. I feel like Leia's office is not iconic at all. We never see this on screen, even though the space that they've allotted for this area is not very huge. And I can see why they maybe would have been tempted to include the office instead. I would have much preferred them to at least attempt to include the hallway scene. The hallway scene is one of the most iconic Star Wars scenes ever. It's our first introduction to Darth Vader, and I feel it would just be a lot more memorable on a set like this. Other than that, it looks like they used the cockpit space pretty well. You can see we got Captain Antilles chilling up there with a Rebel Fleet Trooper. I would have liked to have seen a second Rebel Fleet Trooper. I think for a set like this, it wouldn't have been too much to add a second one, especially since we've only gotten one so far in this set, and then that Junior's TIE Fighter. Would have been cool to get another one of those guys, just to have like, you know, a decent amount of them. One of the play features worth mentioning as well is that it has a functional escape pod similar to the one on the last playset version of the set. You can see R2-D2 and C-3PO chilling in there. And then the final play feature worth mentioning is that this one actually comes with a handle, which is actually pretty cool. I can imagine this might be kind of an awkward ship to hold if it didn't have that. So to have a dedicated point for you to lift the ship, I always appreciate. So kudos to LEGO for that. But really, that's going to finish up my thoughts on the ship, guys. Definitely let me know in the comment section what you think about it. I think a lot of people are probably going to be disappointed with this set due to the general size of it. I, for one, I'm not too disappointed. I feel like the size of this is probably pretty in line with what I would have expected for a $199 price LEGO Star Wars set. And even though LEGO would probably describe this more as like a play set, I feel that it has the aesthetic and the details of what we'd expect from a UCS set. So it's definitely not lacking there. But like I always say, guys, if you like what I do, go ahead, support the video by hitting the like button, support the channel by smashing that subscribe button, and I will be back again very soon.